Welcome to the first ever episode of Destination YouTube. My name's Petter and I'm going to be giving you guys a very quick oversight of what this channel is going to be about.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelts. Thank you.
In the last couple of weeks before I actually got in front of the camera and started doing this, I spent ages looking into starting YouTube, okay? And I found loads of videos that tell you how to do certain aspects, or just all the aspects really, of how to do YouTube. But nobody had actually taken the time to vlog themselves as they start from day one beginner and they journey through it and show you all the mistakes they make, their progress and their experience, something that someone like myself, when I was looking, could relate to. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make some mistakes and I'm gonna have these moments where I think I'm awkward or I'm cringy and I'm just struggling or I get upset with it, and I'm gonna film it, okay? I'm gonna make a channel out of it so that other people who later find themselves in my position, if you're thinking of starting out on YouTube, okay, you guys can watch this and it can just relieve some anxiety, some stress, and just find there's some common ground between all of us here on YouTube, you know, that we've all had these problems and these struggles. And ultimately, like I said, I just really want this to break the ice for you and just make it that little bit easier for you to just take the nosedive in and get started. Because I'll tell you what, even as I'm sat here right now, I'm having so much fun, okay? And just a little something extra for you guys, right? Stick around till the end because I'm gonna have a little bonus for you which could potentially make your life so much easier starting off here on YouTube. You're gonna save yourself hours and hours of trawling through YouTube, okay? So stick around till the end for that, okay? And in the meantime, give us a like, a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time there's a new video. First area we're gonna talk about is hardware, okay? So when I say hardware, what I'm talking about specifically is your camera device, whether it's a DSLR camera, a mirrorless camera, your iPhone, you know, and these are all things we're going to talk about separately in another video just about this, but we're just going to cover it a little bit broadly today, okay? So for hardware, we're going to talk about your recording device is the first point, okay? So if you're fortunate and you already, you know, own a DSLR or a mirrorless, great, fantastic, you know, you'll be able to record some brilliant footage. You might just need to buy a different lens, okay? And also, don't worry if you just own a smartphone, okay? Modern Android and iOS devices record superb 4K video, okay? You will not have any problem recording brilliant video, okay? In 1080p, 4K, and all sorts of FPSs, whichever you decide to shoot in, okay? And with apps like Filmic Pro, okay, on the App Store, you can get full manual control of your camera. In fact, I'm filming all of this right now with an iPhone 12 Pro and Filmic Pro, okay? And drop a comment below and leave me what you think about the footage, okay? How it might compare to, say, a DSLR. Could you tell that I did this on an iPhone, okay? So, the second area we're going to talk about is software, okay? So, what software you're going to be editing on. Now, this is going to be dependent slightly on whether you're using Windows or Mac, okay? And potentially you could be using an iPad or an iPad OS too. You know, you have apps like LumaFusion and iMovie which you can run on iPads and they work superbly. You can do some great editing, okay? Especially if you've got no background or experience in editing, you can edit on iMovie and pick up the basics really well, add in some intros, transitions, effects. You know, there are great tutorials on YouTube for beginners starting out with iMovie, okay? And LumaFusion too. Honestly, YouTube is brilliant. You're going to find all sorts on here. You know that yourself already, all right? So you need to think about your software, okay? Try and start basic is my advice. I've got no experience. I looked into DaVinci Resolve. It got way too complicated too quickly, okay? And my brain just went, seriously, okay? Just start with something simple. iMovie, pick up the basics of editing and then just take it up from there, you know. And if you're on macOS or iPad OS, iMovie is fantastic, seriously. And by picking up the basics in iMovie, you can move on to Final Cut Pro, okay? Personally, I took a bit of a gamble, all right? I went straight into the 90-day free trial you can get for Final Cut Pro. I just thought, if I'm gonna use it anyway, I may as well pick it up, okay? Start picking it up sooner than later, okay? And it really hasn't been that difficult, to tell you the truth. Okay, and another reason I chose Final Cut Pro, there are websites like Video Hive where you can go and download additional graphics, effects, you know, and they're not free. Some might be, but they're paid, but they're not very expensive, and you can find the style that suits your video, okay, which will fit in with your branding, okay, and potentially your niche as well, you know, which is something we're going to discuss coming on, okay. Area number 4, niche, okay. You want to spend a bit of time looking into your niche, okay. What is your niche? Have you thought about it? Chances are you probably have, okay. My niche outside of destination YouTube is tech, okay. I run a channel called Direct Tech, and I'll leave a link to that below in the description. Check us out, and hopefully you leave us a like and a subscribe on a video, okay. So niche, yeah, we'll go back to that, sorry about that. And so, you know, research niche. Go watch a few people on YouTube that do your niche, okay, and look at how they do things, how they present. Is there anything you like, you know, a certain inspiration, you know, just research your niche essentially is what I'm trying to say, okay. And also try and find something about your niche that potentially hasn't been discussed in great depth that people might want to hear more about. You know, try and find something niche about your niche. How about that one? The next one we're going to get onto, and I think is a really big one, is branding, okay. Branding is a big deal in my mind, okay. Your subscribers, you know, slash fans, hopefully, will recognize your branding, okay. You need a branding that they can immediately identify, be it an intro, your channel logo, your mannerism. It all forms part of the brand, okay. A good example that I'm going to talk to you guys about is Front Page Tech, run by John Prosser, okay. He has a very distinct style, you know, humor, presentation, theme that you can easily pick out, okay. You want to stand out from the crowd, okay. It's all part of doing YouTube. You know, doing YouTube is so much more than just sitting in front of the camera and shooting a video, you know, especially if you're trying to make something of it, you know, which you may as well. If you're spending the time, why not get the results back, you know. Last point we're going to talk about is setting, okay. Now, I understand not everybody is going to be fortunate to have space where they can create a setting, you know, even basic like this behind me, okay. All I've got is my TV, I painted this wall, and I've got some LED tape running around the side, and believe it or not, I'm using my bedroom lights, which I've pointed at myself. They were from IKEA, they were £20, and I've got an overhead microphone just there out of shot, okay. And this is my setting. It doesn't have to be much, okay. But what you might want to think about when it comes to your setting is, could you possibly make it relevant to your niche, okay. The reason I've opted for my TV with the LED and stuff is ultimately my main channel is my tech channel, okay. And this has somewhat of a tech vibe to it, all right, which is going to fit in with my niche, okay. If you're doing makeup, okay, which is a common one on YouTube, you know, watch some makeup videos. They're gonna have some setups that you can, you know, be inspired by, okay. It's not the biggest deal breaker or a deal breaker at all, really. If your setup is just your bedroom, your bed's behind you and whatnot, everybody's got to start somewhere. It's not a big deal. Don't stress, okay? I only just moved into this flat recently, about a week ago, and trust me, when I was doing my rehearsals at my previous flat, I literally had just a grey wall behind me, and I was going to run with it because that's the best I had, okay? Down the line, don't forget as well, you can learn how to use green screen. You can green screen at home for like £25, set it up, and just teach yourself how to do it, okay? You could even go on Skillshare and learn how to do it. Superb service, but we'll talk about that another time, okay? So these are all things to think about when you want to start out on YouTube, okay? So the bonus content that I mentioned for you guys is this. I have taken the time to make what I'm calling YouTube Beginners Education playlist, okay? And that playlist is going to cover all the topics from hardware, software, setting, niche, background, and SEO/YouTube algorithm optimization, making sure that your videos come up on top on searches, okay, or near the top, to get you more views and subscribers, okay? So that playlist is going to be curated by myself. I've spent hours and hours trawling through YouTube, you know, researching these topics, you know, just watching all the videos, and I'm going to handpick the videos that I think deliver the content in a concise, precise, and to the point manner, so you're not sat there, you know, listening and you're not really understanding. You just want something that gets to the point straight away, okay? And every week when I cover a different topic, so you know, next week we'll be looking at my setup, my personal setup, why I chose it and what my budget was, how much I spent, okay? And maybe some more expensive or even cheaper options that I found, okay? And we'll be looking at lighting, video, the lot. All of that is going to be in that playlist. And for every related topic, when I do discuss it here on the channel, I'm going to drop a link to a video in the playlist in the description below, okay? And if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it, guys, if you could leave me a like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you get notified when I upload a video, okay? And we're just going to be following how all of this pans out for me, how I get on, progress, okay? You're just going to get to watch me go through the highs and lows of doing YouTube so that you guys don't feel like you're alone. You can relieve some anxiety and see, oh, right, so this is how it all works. You know, I'm not alone. This isn't just me having this problem. And when I do find ways around these problems, they're all going to be discussed right here for you guys so you know how to get around, okay? My name's Petter, and it has been brilliant talking to you today. I'll see you all soon.